All right, we're live. Just waiting for more people to get in here. What's up, Kim? If you're here, can you please hit the like button? Please hit the like button. It helps to get the notifications out and to promote the stream in the algorithm. I'll give everybody a minute to get in, a couple minutes. While I wait, I'll be right back. All right. Hopefully everybody's here. Welcome everybody. I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna start talking about things. And yeah. So, um, for those of you that haven't noticed, I did change the stream schedule and the times. I'm gonna have, starting next week, it's gonna be uh, one stream on YouTube on Mondays. Thursday is going to be the Rumble stream, and it's gonna be like that for now. As far as every other day is concerned, that's gonna be random, meaning I may stream on those days, I may not. I'm not going to make any announcements. I'll just randomly go live. So if you catch me, you catch me. If you don't, you don't. It'll usually be around the same time every day. So 5, 6, 7 p.m. around that time. But yeah. But definitely I'll have the Monday YouTube at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 6 p.m. on Rumble. So you guys can always catch those. And yeah. Let me see. Okay. 1 second, Trace. Yeah, I am going to be showing stuff today, Trace. So I'll show the chat for now. But I have a video I want to share. And I'm going to watch it. I'm going to react to it live with you guys. Because like I said, there are things going on in this world that you guys can make a difference, and you don't need Kim to make a difference. You don't need a savior. You don't need, there are things that everyday humans can do that will contribute to stopping the madness that's going on. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. And this is the truth, okay? The real, realest truth I can give you. I know what's causing the evil. And if anyone, including Kim Goguen, shows any sort of remorse for what the evil that is causing harm to this world is, I have a problem with that. Why am I saying that? Because Kim is a lot nicer than I am. Kim is a lot more tolerant than I am. Kim is willing to put up with more things than I would. I have a very short, I don't want to say fuse, but yeah, that too, but I have a very low tolerance of evil and ignorance. So when I see something that's clearly wrong, clearly evil, and is contributing to the destruction of society and humanity, I have a problem with that. Period. And I'm going to call it out when I see it. So there are a lot of people that are, nice people, soft people, forgiving people, tolerant people, whatever you want to call it. I'm not one of those. I'm just not. If I see something that's wrong, I'm going to call it out right there, right then. I'm going to say it every time. And I don't care who agrees with me and who doesn't. Period. There's too much of this letting shit happen. Too much of this, we got to be understanding of everyone and their ways and all this other shit. And it's just leading to chaos. Period. So, that's the reason why I'm going to show some things today so you guys can see the stuff that they want you to accept. And I'm going to say this again. There are people like Tim Pool and others who are very influential, even Kim Goguen to a degree, that are very tolerant of things that I find to be evil or wrong. You guys can agree with me or not. I'm going to show you. I'm going to present my argument. I'm going to tell you what I think. And I've already talked about this on Rumble, but I'm going to talk about it here on YouTube to a lesser degree. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not. Because you have to understand who is pushing this agenda. It's not normal good humans that are doing this. There are demons at the top running the show, and they're pushing this shit from the top to the bottom. So they're the ones that are promoting these agendas. They're the ones that are making things the way they are. And they attack anybody that doesn't accept their ways. Because they are that way. They are a certain way. They like certain things. They do certain things that humans wouldn't normally like or do. Now, if you see somebody that's doing something wrong, that's abnormal, or that's, part of the minority or 1% or whatever, that's just it, right? They're part of the minority. They're part of the 1%. They're in an anomaly. They're abnormal. That's why it's called abnormal, because it's not normal. It's not like everybody else. It's not the way things are supposed to be. It's a mistake, right? That's why it's different. I'm not saying they should be attacked or ridiculed or made fun of or tortured or destroyed or anything like that. But they should be treated and helped and looked at as somebody who needs to have pity on them. And if they really are struggling with their situation or the way they are as a person, they need to get whatever help they need to get. They shouldn't be encouraged. They shouldn't be promoted. They shouldn't be celebrated. They shouldn't have a whole fucking month dedicated to them. And I'm sure you guys know what community I'm talking about. But I'm just going to show you guys here because this is something that is being pushed from the president down and beyond him. Because who's telling him to do it? Who's telling him to promote this agenda? Right? He's a control puppet, Biden. All the presidents are, but in this case, I'm talking about Biden. So he's telling, or he's being told, to push this on everybody else, right? And everybody else just falls in line. You're like, well, the president supports it, so that means everybody should, right? If you're that dumb to fall for the shit. But it's not just people that support Biden. There are people that are against Biden that support it as well. Because they want to be the good guys. They want to be tolerant. They want to be accepting. The Republicans, right? The conservatives. And I showed you guys the video about Dylan Mulvaney and Matt Walsh. That's on Rumble. And you can be part of whatever community you want to be a part of. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But the problem is that that community is being used for a greater evil. I don't think people should be that way, but if you are that way, whatever. That's your personal issue. I don't care about it. I don't need to hear about it. I'm not going to celebrate you. I'm not going to high five you because you have something wrong with you that's abnormal. That's not like everybody else. I'm sorry. I can't do it. But there are a lot of people that do support that shit and that are okay with it and celebrate it and promote it. And then they wonder why society is crumbling. Then they wonder why there's so much evil and hatred and craziness going on. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Twitch is a streaming platform, right? Twitch. It's mostly for gamers, right? So if you play video games, you go to Twitch, you stream. I want to do it eventually. I haven't done it yet, but I'm eventually going to do it. But it's for people to watch people play games mostly. There are other things that happen on Twitch. It's mostly a leftist platform, and that's part of the reason why I haven't gone to it. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because there are people that wanted to play this game created by J.K. Rowling, right? And J.K. Rowling, she created, I believe, the Harry Potter series, right? And I haven't watched Harry Potter, but I'm familiar with her work and what she has done. And she created a game called Hogwarts Legacy, right? And she is a leftist. However, she had one opinion that the leftists don't agree with. She supports everything on the left except she said there are only two genders. Men are men and women are women. And that one little thing had all these crazy psychopaths on the left attacking her, right? And then you have people on the right saying, oh, she should be more sensitive towards these people, right? So that's the kind of backlash she's getting. Now, that has led to people anybody that plays this game that was made by her, they're being attacked by that community, the LGBTQ and all those crazy leftist people, right? They're attacking anybody that plays that game and making people quit their careers playing this game because they don't agree with an ideology or something that is natural or true, right? There are only two genders. That's just what it is. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks or agrees with or whatever. That's just the reality. That's just the truth. But they're trying to create all this psychosis, right? All these genders, all these different pronouns and all this bullshit, right? So again, because most normal people, or a lot of people that I see, are supporting and allowing this community to fester, this community that wants to destroy you, you're high-fiving them, celebrating them, validating them, promoting them, saying they're great people, they can do what they want and be how they want. They don't want the same thing for you. They want you dead. But you're sitting up here being the good Samaritan, high-fiving them and smiling in their face. Oh, slay queen, be how you want to be. While they're thinking about how to destroy you and how to get you to be like them. That's what they're thinking about. They don't give a fuck about you, but you care about them, right? So anyways, those freaks are over here attacking normal people that are just playing a game and making those people scared for their life because they're getting death threats and verbal attacks and called transphobic, homophobic, because they're playing a game made by somebody else who they don't like. So J.K. Rowling made this Harry Potter series, and the game is based off of her Harry Potter series. And if you're playing that game on Twitch, you're being attacked by these crazy people. Even though you had nothing to do with what she said. Those are the kind of people that a lot of people support. These crazy people. They're supporting them. They're propping them up. They're celebrating them. And then they're like, well, why is society so fucked up? Why is everything so messed up? Why aren't things getting better? Because we're consistently allowing the crazy people to run society and not stopping them. We're just letting them run rampant. That's why shit isn't getting better. That's the truth. So again, I'm going to show you guys a video about something that you guys can basically do, which is not support this shit. And then maybe things will start to get better when you start to call these people out and say, hey, something is wrong with you. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be celebrated. You shouldn't be cutting off your body parts. You shouldn't be sleeping with the same sex because it's unnatural. That's just not the way it was made. I don't care who your God is. I don't care who you believe created everything. It's not normal, period. But anyways, so without further ado, actually, let me talk a little bit more before I show the video. Positivity versus reality. So, people that are very positive, they don't live in reality. Why do I say that? Because if you live in reality, you see how negative things really are. So it's okay to be positive, but when you ignore all the craziness and evil that's going on in the world, and you just put your head in the sand and say, well, as long as I don't pay attention to it, I'm good. And then when you take your head out of the sand, guess what? Things are either the same or worse than they were when you put your head in the sand. So you putting your head in the sand and saying, I'm a good person and I don't need to pay attention to this shit. As long as I ignore it, everything will work out. That isn't fixing or helping shit. So go ahead, be positive, be love and light. Just ignore everything that's going on in the world and see where the fuck that gets you. Because eventually, they're going to shove something up your ass. Let's just say that while you have your head in the sand. That's what's going to happen. And I'm being graphic, but it's the truth. People are sitting here ignoring the problems that are going on in the world because they want to be good people. And who's getting helped with that? Is your life better because of it? Are things better in the world because you're ignoring it? No. Okay then. And it's sad because I know a lot of people that watch me are good people. But you have to understand the reality of the world that you live in. We're far from done. We're far from done. I don't care who says what. We're far from the point of where things are good in this world. Just because someone says, oh, well, things have changed and things are good now. Don't worry. Everything's getting better. That doesn't mean that it is. That's just somebody talking. Look around. Open your eyes. Use your senses. Think for yourself. And then tell me that you really see the world getting better. That you really see things being good. Sorry to be the reality check, but that's what I am. Okay? You guys can listen to whoever you want, watch whoever you want, worship whoever you want. I don't care. But at least be real about what the fuck is going on. That's all I'm asking. Highlander said, hello peeps, what's going on? I better get caught up. Yep. And then Highlander said, I'm very positive the world is messed up, 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is too many people living on hopium and copium, right? Hopium, hoping everything gets better. Copium, coping with the bullshit, thinking everything's good when it's not. That's not helping anything. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'll be that guy, right? I'll be the reality check. I'll be the asshole. I'll be the negative guy. I'll be the pessimist. I'll be whatever the fuck you want to call me. But at least I'm real about what I'm seeing. And I'm not worried about getting caught off guard because I was living on cloud 9 thinking everything was peachy perfect and we were in heaven when we're not. We're in hell. This world is hell right now. It's currently hell. You want it to be heaven? Make it heaven. Does heaven have crazy people cutting off their body parts and controlling the world? I don't fucking think so. I don't fucking think so. Whatever your idea of heaven is, if that's your idea of heaven, I don't want anything to do with it. That's the way I feel about it. Does heaven have wars everywhere? Does heaven have, all this psychosis going on? People killing each other? People hurting each other? Racism? Being promoted and all. There's so much shit in this world that's going on. And it's still going on. It hasn't changed. No matter who says what. Michelle Barnhill said, just got here. Hey, what's up, Michelle? Nice to see you. I'm just talking about how crazy this world is and how people think that things are so peachy when they're not. Highlander said, the only thing getting better is my fixer upper I bought. I do treat everyone with a smile until they cross my line. Then I pull a Jackie Gleason on them. Pile to the moon. I guess. I'm more, I treat people the way they need to be treated. I don't believe in waiting for somebody to cross my line for me to realize that they're a fucked up person. If somebody's fucked up, they're a fucked up person. I'm going to treat them like a fucked up person, right? Whether they've done something to me or not. So that's the way I see it. But I'm different. So anyways, I rambled on enough. I'm going to show you guys this video by Tim Pool. So if you don't like Tim Pool, then don't watch. But I'm going to watch this video with Tim Pool with you guys so you guys can see a little bit of what he talks about. I'm going to comment on his video, so I'm going to react to it. I'm going to say what I agree with what he's saying and what I don't agree with it, and where he's wrong and where he's right. But the main point of me showing you this is because you need to see, and he's basically mainstream news at this point, so fuck it. I don't care if he's on YouTube or not. He's basically mainstream news. He just talks about what's on the news. I could go do the same thing he's doing, but why do that when I want to actually talk about him and what he's saying wrong, because he has influence on YouTube and in the world. A lot of people take him serious. So I'm going to show you what I like and what I don't like with what he says. And then if you guys want to comment, we could talk about it. But I'm going to play it, let you guys watch it, and then we'll talk about what he says. So give me a sec.
Yesterday was International Women's Day. And to celebrate International Women's Day, the Biden administration granted a biological male the International Women of Courage Award. This has resulted in many people being quite upset and complaining. And I only just got to say, I understand the cultural issue they're complaining about. I just would like to add, does anyone really care about the International Women of Courage Award? Can you name one recipient of this award? Okay, we get it. No one really cares about the award. But there is still an issue if we are diverting cultural iconography, merit awards, etc., to biological males when it's supposed to be for women. I like this new thing that James Lindsay is doing. Have you seen it? Women Plus? Women Plus. I love that. It's absolutely brilliant. It's not about, what does he say? Trans women are women plus. And it's just good. All right, here's the story from the Post-Millennial. They say, marking International Women's Day on Wednesday, a trans-identified male was awarded an International Women of Courage Award during the 17th Annual Secretary of State's International Women of Courage Award ceremony. 17. Introducing Alba Rueda of Argentina to the crowd, the presenter said Rueda is a transgender woman who was kicked out of classrooms, barred for sitting for exams, refused job opportunities, subjected to violence, and rejected by her family. But in the face of these challenges, she works to end violence and discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community in Argentina. You see the plus? It's women plus. That's what it is. I love the plus. The plus is fantastic. You see? Rueda was handed the presented with, come on, Post-Millennial, copy editor. Joe Biden presented the award with Secretary of State Antony Blinken. According to the Secretary of State's International Women of Courage Award website, Rueda is Argentina's special envoy for sexual orientation and gender identity in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Trade and Worship, and was the first Argentine undersecretary for diversity policies in the newly created Ministry for Women, Gender, and Diversity. Wow. Sounds like insane cult ideology. It's a cult. It is a cult. Seriously? The government's special envoy for sexual orientation? Right this way, sir. Imagine going to a border. You're like entering the country and they're like, can I see your passport? And then you pull out your passport and they're like, okay, and who do you prefer to have sex with? Oh, let me write that down. And okay, and what do you think you are? Oh, a giraffe. Oh, how about that?
Okay, so he's making a lot of good points, right? And here's the whole thing, right? I hope you guys heard that, right? You guys can hear that, right? So he's making good points with this whole situation that's going on. And again, the reason why I want to talk about this, and this is why I don't like to show the chat because of that. It just keeps going on forever. So I'm just going to do that for a second. So, the point of what I'm showing you is that he's talking about Argentina doing this, right? But the problem is that you had Biden meeting with Dylan Mulvaney, and he also had hired some weirdo that likes to cross-dress as a woman as part of his, I don't know, employees or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is that our government is also promoting this shit. So it's not just an Argentina thing. This is something that's worldwide. This shit is spreading everywhere, right? And everyone, the reason why it's spreading is because the good people, quote unquote, the people that are supposed to put a stop to it, are not doing anything. They're just sitting by and saying, it's okay, everybody can just be how they want to be. That's why the shit is spreading everywhere. If people said, no, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing this, it shouldn't be spreading everywhere, it would stop. So now you have a fucking man that is winning an award that a woman's supposed to win. I don't care if it's an unimportant award if it doesn't matter. The point is that it's happening, right? That's what matters. This shit shouldn't be happening, period. It's the same thing that happened with, what's her name? Leah Thomas, the fucking swimmer. Well, it's actually a dude, right? So I should say his name. But this dude who took over women's swimming in college, and he won the award, or he has the record for fastest swim time for a woman, and he's a man. So I'm like, okay, so that happened. And you have all, I don't know if you guys saw the commercial for Hershey's in Canada, but they were talking about, Hershey, right? They were trying to promote women and all that, but it was an actual man that was in the commercial. I should show you guys that. But the point I'm trying to make is, the reason why this stuff is spreading is because women are being soft and saying, oh, it's okay if men do this. Because women aren't putting their foot down. But you know what's funny? Women get really upset and mad when a man is a man, right? At least the feminists do, right? The crazy feminists. They're like, well, men are being toxic. But it's okay for a man to pretend to be a woman and take over your awards, take over your sports, take over everything that you do, to the point where you have transsexual men complaining about, and I call them transsexual men, I don't care what the proper term is. They're men that are trying to be a woman. So to me, they're just transsexual men. That's what I call them. But they're calling people transphobic or homophobic if they don't want to sleep with them. So if a man doesn't want to sleep with a man, they're transphobic or homophobic. That's what these transsexuals are doing and saying, because they think they're women, right? So again, this is something small that, not small, but what I mean is, it's something that if everyday people said, I don't want this, I don't like this, this shouldn't be a thing, this shouldn't be supported, people shouldn't be this way, it would change. But because most people are being brainwashed, like Kim said, the world is being MK Ultra'd into believing that this is acceptable and it's okay, then guess what happens? This kind of shit keeps happening and being promoted and being pushed, and it's going to keep going. It's not going to stop. You think it's going to stop? It's not. They want everybody to be this way. So right now, it seems like a small little, it's just a little section of the community over here that's doing this thing. That's what it looks like, right? I heard some crazy stat that like 25% or more of the new generation of kids identify as part of that community, and that's like the highest that it's ever been. Hello, red flag. Why does that matter? Because the new generation is identifying more and more with that community. So guess what happens when they get older? They push that shit onto kids and younger ones, and it keeps going that way. It doesn't stop. It doesn't slow down. It keeps getting promoted. Do you understand where this is going? It's leading to the end of society. That's what it's leading to. Like I said, the world is run and controlled by a death cult. They want the end of humanity. Kim has talked about this. Kim has said, if you like Kim, you support Kim, you believe in Kim so much, you know what Kim Goguen said? She said that there was a reality where the ones that control the world right now, the evil ones, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, they got their way. And guess what happened in that reality? Everyone died, including them. They killed everyone and they killed themselves. Those are the motherfuckers that are running the world. They're the ones that are pushing these agendas. The LGBTQ crap is part of their agenda. Again, it's a death cult. LGBTQ leads to the end of life. There is no life in that community. None of them can have kids. That's the truth, whether you like it or not. But guess what? They're not concerned with making kids. They just want people to be that way. They can fucking manufacture and grow people in labs. So they don't really care if men and women don't have genitals anymore and can't reproduce. They don't give a fuck about that. Because they can just either create a new race of humans, grow them like you grow vegetables in a farm. They can do that. Or they can just make a new human the way they want the human to be, which is what they're trying to do. But it's more sadistic than that. They want humans to accept their demise. They want humans to accept their desecration. They want humans to accept being this way, which is not natural. It's not normal. It's not the way humans are supposed to be. But they want humans to be okay with it, accept their destruction and demise, and become what they're not supposed to be. Because they get pleasure out of seeing humans suffer and torment themselves. Not to mention they get a good laugh to see how stupid and retarded humans are for accepting this shit. They're like, oh wow, these dumb motherfuckers actually believe this is the way things are supposed to be. This is even better than what we thought. They're actually just going along with our agenda. That's what they're doing right now. They're fucking laughing because humans are stupid and they're just going along with it. So again, if you're part of these people that fucking promote this shit, accept it, celebrate it, allow it, whatever you want to call it, support it, whatever. Any term that's synonymous with that. If you're one of these people that stands by and watches and doesn't do anything about it and doesn't say anything because you're too good to say anything and you don't want to be called a bigot, you don't want to be labeled a bad person or whatever, well, you're part of the problem. It's that simple. Highlander said, a little background on me. I'm 63 years old. I'm a strong woman and not meek. The reason why I have the name Highlander, because voice text Highlander comes over as Highlander. Oh, okay. I'm searching for a badass Highlander, actually. Ha, that's funny. Yeah, like I said, wait, did I miss one of your messages? I think you said the only thing getting better is, oh no, I already read that. But yeah, like I said, I'll show the messages again, I guess. I'm not going to play that whole Tim Pool thing. He did say more stuff. Maybe, should I play the rest of it? Maybe I will. Let me see. Hold on. I'll let him talk for a little bit longer. I want to see what else he says.
That's where we're going, I guess. Mr. Reda was the driving force behind Argentina's executive order on the transgender labor quota in the public sector. What? You know, everybody's like freaking out because they're like, how dare the Biden administration give a man a women's award? You know, and I'm kind of like, you didn't even know the award existed, but I'm freaking out that Argentina has a government envoy and a transgender labor quota. I mean, you know what's really funny? Let's go back to the notepad joke again. I want you all to imagine this scenario. Okay, sir, welcome to the job interview for petroleum engineer. And, sir, which genitals do you have? Ah, very interesting. You have those. I did not expect that. And who do you prefer to have sex with? Really? Didn't expect that either. So we get this story that's going on for a long time about bathrooms. And they say, like, no trans person wants to be stopped and made to go in the wrong bathroom or whatever. No one should be allowed to question a trans person's gender identity. Because that's the idea, right? The idea was with the bathrooms, a trans woman will be walking to a women's bathroom and they'll say, hey, hold on there, show us your junk. And they were like, that's absurd. Or in like women's sports, as if a trans person or any person would have to show their genitals to prove who they are. You know, they make you get testosterone tests. But think about this. If there's a Transgender Labor Quota Act, that means employers are required to ask you about your junk. Sure, I guess. And this forces trans people to out themselves. If you're a passing trans person, I'm sure the last thing you want to do is go to your boss and be like, I have a confession to make. Yes, here's the truth. That's like probably not a good thing. Rueda, the statement continued, actively campaigned to change the name of the Nationals Women Conference to the Plurinational Conference of Women and Lesbian, Cross-Dresser, Transgender, Bisexual, Intersex, and Non-Binary Persons to include diverse, dissident, and racialized identities. What? Oh, man. Oh, boy. Hey, you know what? That's Argentina for you, I guess.
So again, it's like, and let me put up the little symbol because I don't want to see this whole Inception thing. But I'm gonna say this again. They're introducing all these different gender diversity, pronouns, categories, and stuff because they're trying to, and as David Icke says it, they're trying to break down what you are more and more and more to cause more separation. Just break you down more, put people in more categories, separate people more to make people fight and argue. When it's just supposed to be men and women. And people that have these mental issues going on or whatever abuse they suffered as a child, they shouldn't be celebrated and promoted. And he does make a really good point in that video. That's why I'm showing the video about how they only support this community having body dysmorphia, and any other community or any other people that have these mental problems, we don't promote them and support them and say, yeah, cut off your body parts. But for this community, we do. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is part of a darker, evil agenda, which a lot of you are aware of. But even so, even if you're aware of this, it doesn't mean that you're against it. It doesn't mean that you don't tolerate it. Because again, even Kim Goguen, like when I was doing my video yesterday, she was saying some questionable things about that community. Well, she didn't say a lot, but she said it doesn't matter who you love. Just find that person that you love and be happy and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, whoa, 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 Kim. What do you mean by that? And that's the thing. Like, these people, and let me be fair. If you do this in private, I don't care what you do. My problem is making it public and trying to make everybody accept your psychotic way of living. So again, if you want to do this in private, go ahead and do it. I don't care what you do to your body, and I don't care who you sleep with. It's none of my fucking business. That's the point that I'm trying to make. It's no one's business what you do in the privacy of your home. Why does everyone have to know this shit? Isn't it bad enough that we have to see you walking around in society looking weird and acting weird? Isn't that bad enough? But you want us to celebrate, promote, accept, and put you on a fucking pedestal? Because like I said in one of my other lives, I said, what rights does this community lack? What rights don't they have? They're not fighting for any extra, they're not missing any rights. There are no rights that they don't have. They're fighting for extra rights. They're fighting for extra privileges. They want to be promoted. They want to be celebrated. They want people to see them as God's gift to the earth when, if anything, they're the devil's gift. But let him finish, and then I'll comment on whatever else he says.
Women presented with the award include Senator Datuk Ras Abida Radzi of Malaysia, who has committed her life to fighting for the rights of persons with disabilities in Malaysia and suffering a spinal injury in a car accident and an assault. Brigadier General Boler Ganbold of Mongolia, who became the country's first female general in the Mongolian armed forces. And let me just stop right there and say, those things sound very noble, honorable, and tremendous respect. And Miatza Mohammed of Ethiopia, a veteran journalist and founder of Roha TV, who has covered survivors of gender-based violence in the country during the northern conflict, among other recipients. I do think it's kind of funny that the Roha TV journalist is probably very much at odds with this Argentinian individual. Imagine if they were like, you're in a nation where they're mutilating women, like biological females, right? And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, no. That people are people. A person is a person. Women are not being targeted. People with vaginas are being targeted. Uh-oh. We shouldn't say that because that's offensive to trans women. There's no line. You know, this is where we're going. So the Daily Mail actually compiled some tweets, I guess, because this is funny. Sarah Huckabee Sanders says it's International Women's Day, a good time to remember that Democrats can't even tell you what a woman is. Fair point. When you ask them, they get mad and they refuse to answer. Dana Lash says, nice of FLOTUS to encourage the diminishment of women on International Women's Day. Erasing women is abusive. Carolyn Levitt, why are Democrats working overtime to push the trans agenda? Disgraceful. Honest question. Are you okay with this? You see, this is the thing. I don't care about some garbage award from a garbage institution that is the Biden administration. I really don't care about it. It means nothing to me. I didn't know the award existed. I still don't care that it does exist. I think the bigger issue is you've got this cult that is destroying people's lives. You've got this cult, and it's spreading. I want to show you a tweet I put out, and Twitter does like a little birthday thing for me, a little birthday thing. Let me refresh that. So look at the balloons. Whee! It's my birthday. If you want to get me a present, you can become a member at timcast.com. Click join us, become a member, and help support our work. But let me scroll down here. I want to show you the balloons, so I'm just scrolling through my. Here we go. I have this Twitter poll I did. I wrote, if you have a mental disorder or illness, should you be allowed to carry guns? And 70%, rounding up, said no. And I think it's interesting because in a blanket statement, most people say no. Most people follow me are probably 2A gun nuts. Now, look, I got to be honest. I'm more towards you should. Sorry. But it depends, as many people point out, on the severity. If you can't discern between up or down, yeah, we're not going to put a gun in your hands.
So again, the problem is, yeah, that Highlander said it perfectly. We need a fight to be heterosexual. And notice how he said, it's getting so ridiculous that he said, oh no, we can't say this because it's going to offend transsexual women. What about regular women? Does anybody not care about regular women? And this is what's funny. I'm going to say this again. They've used women to destroy men for all these years with the whole Me Too and all that other bullshit, right? And feminists and all of that. Now, they're turning around and taking men and using them to destroy women. So they use women to destroy men. Now they're turning men into women, fake women, and using those fake women to destroy women. Isn't that ironic how that's working out? And sad to say, because a lot of women are more tolerant and supportive of this kind of garbage, you're kind of doing it to yourself. You get what I'm saying? So, because let me tell you the number one enemy to the demons or this cult that he talks about, or the deep state, or whatever you want to call it. It's a straight man. A straight man. They hate that. They don't want that. Why? Because that's the one thing that will fight against them and not support anything that they do. They don't want that shit. So they try to attack and destroy all straight men. That's why I talked about Andrew Tate. Like I tried to tell you guys, oh, you see an Andrew Tate video. It's like, oh, well, I don't care about Andrew Tate. It's not about fucking Andrew Tate. It's about what he represents and what they're trying to destroy. So whether you like fucking Andrew Tate or not doesn't fucking matter. The point is, they're trying to destroy a symbolism of masculinity. And that's what he is. He's a symbol of masculinity, right? He's somebody that's supposed to represent that. So they attack him, and all his supporters who believe in him now feel dejected and ashamed because they're like, look what they're doing to our leader. And that's why I tell people, stop following these motherfuckers. Be your own leader. Be your own man. Be your own human, person, woman, whatever. Right? But once you follow these people, they put them on a pedestal and then they get taken down. Now what are you going to do? Because your hero's gone. So what's left now? Who's going to stand up for you? Who's going to fight for you? You are what's left. So now you got to do something, right? I'm going to let him finish his last little piece and then I'll comment on it.
Okay. If you do not have the capacity to be an independent, sane adult, then you are to be in the care of somebody else. That's the reason I pointed this out. The liberals like to point out that if you're mentally ill or suffering from some mental disorder, you should not be eligible to bear arms. But that would mean, according to the DSM-5, those suffering from gender dysphoria would be ineligible to keep and bear arms. I absolutely disagree with that. However, Nuance Bro responds saying, what's the mental illness? Are you a danger to yourselves and others? And I said, would you consider wanting to amputate healthy body parts as being a danger to yourself? And he said, where's the Nuance Bro response? Did he delete it? Here we go. He said, you're talking about the demographic with the insanely high attempted suicide rate. I usually say if someone is considered too dangerous to own or carry a gun, they're probably too dangerous to be out in public anyway, so I'd rather opt for involuntary detention and imprisonment instead. Which brings me to the main point. For an individual, they say, actually, let me show you this story. Not that one. Here we go. Notorious trans activist brags about supplying illegal cross-sex hormones to trans youth, calling it life-saving medicine. Life-saving medications that guarantee one's safety. That's what they called it. Eli Ehrlich, life-saving. If a child is threatening harm to themselves, do we amputate body parts? If a child is cutting, because teen girls cut all the time, do we then say, okay, we'll cut deeper for you? No, we stop them from hurting themselves. We don't assume that if someone is anorexic and suffering from body dysmorphia, that you can affirm that dysmorphia. Many anorexic people recover from this and begin eating. Many people who are morbidly obese recover from their eating disorder and stop eating. But why this one? I don't know. My point is this. You're not saving anybody by giving them surgeries and medically altering their body. It's the only instance where we do it for any kind of dysmorphia. I think the issue is quite simple, and if someone is threatening to end their own life, we simply 5150 them. It means they get temporarily detained a couple days to make sure they don't end their own life. But hey, Biden administration, you can do whatever you want. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.
I think you guys get the point. But I agree with most of what he said there. It's not one of the videos that I disagree strongly with him on. But again, this issue that is corrupting society and destroying society needs to be dealt with accordingly, right? It shouldn't be promoted. It shouldn't be celebrated. It shouldn't be put on a pedestal. And it's a disease. It's a mental disease. It's a spiritual disease, whatever you want to call it. But it's not something that people should be, these people should be getting help. It's what I'm trying to say. Not put on pedestals and celebrate it and pat it on the head, pat it on the back and say, yeah, everybody can just do whatever they want. It's okay. Just be how you want. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. And again, they're trying to push this shit on kids. Why? Because they're trying to groom the new generation that they want to be this way. They want the new generation, and it's going to keep being pushed more and more and more. And I see weak parents and weak people that don't want to teach their kids what's right from wrong, saying, oh, it's okay, just do what you want, I support you. And that shit is leading to more decay and more desecration. It's not leading to anything good. Trey said, absolutely, real women want real men. Yeah, and that's the thing, Trace, is that you may be right about that, but at the same time, like I said earlier, a lot of women, they don't support men when they are fighting for what's right, and they stand by and watch, or they take the opposite approach just to be contrarian. Or they say, oh, you're not being caring enough. You're not being understanding enough. You're not letting people be the way they want to be. Yada, yada, yada. There's always some bullshit excuse. And I'm going to be honest. I think women are mostly responsible for this happening. Because every time I look at these panels and these people that are fighting for LGBTQ, whatever the fuck, and fighting for all this weird shit, it's always women. And if I had to be very specific, it's usually white women, American white women, if I had to be really specific, that are fighting for this shit. And I'm like, what's up with all these Karens? Like, why are there so many fucking Karens? Like, I don't understand it. And then when shit is fucked up, they're the first ones complaining about, well, this crazy person's doing this thing to me. And I'm like, oh, well, you fucking wanted that shit, didn't you? And now you got what you wanted, but you don't like it. So I don't know. It is what it is. Highlander said they're just wanting attention, period. Someone steered them in that direction, mostly parents in the school system. Yeah, but who works there? Because you say the school system. Is the school system some imaginary being like God that just barks out orders and says things? No, the school system is made of people that work there that say these things and teach people these things and allow these things to happen. So there are people that are doing this shit. And then, like you said, parents as well, right? weak parents that are like, well, I can't stand up to my child. I'm just going to let my child run all over me. They can do whatever they want. And then their child ends up being a fucking degenerate, joining Antifa and destroying society and attacking people in Georgia or police stations in Georgia, whatever the fuck those motherfuckers are doing. And then they're like, I wonder how my child ended up over there in Georgia. He came from Portland all the way to Georgia, and now he's firebombing a police station or whatever the fuck that place is. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Where do these people come from? But yeah, it's a sad reality. And like I said, I speak the truth, so a lot of people may not like what I'm saying. But it's the reality of the world that we live in. I'm tired of sugarcoating shit. It's time to call a spade, right? If you see something and it's a certain way and it's being done this way, it is what it is. But yeah. I've said pretty much all I wanted to say about that topic for now, but I guess the last thing I'll say is now you're having these men pretending to be women replacing real women. And if people think that's where it stops, this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse. There's no limit to what these evil motherfuckers want to do. So people keep thinking, oh, it's just humans doing human things. Okay, keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. Just keep standing by and letting shit happen. And we'll see where we end up in a couple of years. But me, I'll be honest, I'll die fighting this shit. If I have to take on 100 weirdos at the same time, I will. But I'm not going to let these motherfuckers ever change me or try to control me or make me be accepting of this shit or anything like that. It will never happen. Highlander said, I adopted my granddaughter as a baby. She is now 12. I homeschool her since second grade. They treat kids like indoctrinated robots. BS. I pull her out of that crap. Yeah. And the worst thing is, it's one thing if you're sending your kids to a school that's like that. It's a whole nother thing when you know that's what's happening and you don't do anything about it. Or at least try to teach your kids what's right, right? If you just say, oh yeah, whatever they're teaching you in school is the right thing. No. You should always be checking on what your kids are learning and trying to teach them right from wrong, what you know is right. And again, if it's that bad where they're doing these things in these schools, then maybe they shouldn't be going to school. Maybe they shouldn't be in that school. But I don't know. So I think I've said what I wanted to say, so I'm not going to go that long today. But if you guys want to say anything before I go, I got like 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to be doing shorter streams. I'm not going to do 2 hours anymore. I'm going to do like an hour, and then that's it. So what do you guys want to talk about before I go? There are a lot more things I can show, but not on YouTube. Let's just say that. Maybe on Rumble or Patreon. I will say this. If you, yeah, Lynette, that's the first comment I saw of yours, so I'll show the chat for the end so you guys can see what's been censored and what hasn't. But look, I'll scroll up, Lynette. These are the only comments that are showing up. So if your comment's not there, if I didn't read it, that means they censored it. But what I will say is, if you guys really want some good content, subscribe to my Patreon. I'm going to start doing Patreon exclusive content because I want to subscribe, I want to subscribe to a whole bunch of different things and then show you guys on Patreon, and we can have a discussion and real talk about it in my Patreon. Whereas here or even Rumble, there are some things I wouldn't be able to show. And there are a lot of things I want to show that, I want to have a discussion. I want to build a community where we can talk about what we want to talk about. You get what I'm trying to say? Instead of, is this person going to get mad if we watch this on YouTube? Is this person going to get mad if we watch their content? I don't want to deal with that. And that includes Kim Goguen. I want to watch what I want to watch, and I want to show you guys what I want to show you and talk about what I want to talk about. So, if you subscribe to my Patreon, I will start having streams over there, and we will go as long as you guys want, and we will talk about whatever you guys want over there. I would highly recommend that. We'll talk about Kim. I'll show Kim's content on Patreon. I'll show Kim herself. We'll have a discussion about Kim. We'll talk about Kim, and you can hear Kim talk, and it'll just be us in our little group. And we don't have to worry about, are we going to get copyright? Are we going to get censored? Are we going to get this? Are we going to get that, right? And all this, that, and the other. And there are other things too, like Farsight, that I can show you guys. No, Patreon, you can pretty much do whatever you want on there. You can pretty much do whatever you want on Patreon. That's why I want to do Patreon, because it's even more free than Rumble to a degree. Patreon does have rules, but as far as talking about stuff and showing content, you can show whatever you want and do whatever you want over there. Let me read these comments before I go too far. Trace said, I wish I would have homeschooled my kids if I had time over again and knew what I know now. I would never have allowed them to spend one day in this evil system. I agree with you, Trace. It is what it is. Highlander said, Lynette, space your letters. Trace said, just be really careful what you say and we can all read between the lines. Highlander said, I follow you on Rumble too. Appreciate that. And Rumble is also monetized. And I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I don't think I'm going to get monetized on YouTube. I was planning on getting monetized on YouTube so I can start doing bigger projects for the community and using my own money and funds. But I don't think I'm going to get monetized on YouTube. They're censoring me. They're suppressing me. It is what it is. They're censoring you guys. I mean, shit. And you guys are just talking in my chat. So that's why I want to do Patreon, right? Because I can start building a community there. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And we can really get into stuff without worrying about, are we going to get taken down? Are we going to get copyright? Or you get what I'm saying? We won't be suppressed. No comments will be blocked. So I really want you guys to, and the Patreon is down here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's in the description down here. Patreon right here. It's the second link. So if you click on that, it'll take you to my Patreon. I'll show you guys real quick. And I don't have anything on there yet, but I'm going to start posting exclusive content on Patreon. So if you sub to that, I'll do streams over there, and we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, uncensored, more than Rumble. It'll be more than Rumble, because there are things I cannot show on Rumble, but I can show you on Patreon. That's the thing. But it is what it is. There's a lot of things I want to show you guys. So let me get back to these comments. Lynette said, makes me so angry. Yeah, sorry, Lynette. I mean, it's fucking YouTube. Trace said, unfortunately, we have to play their game. Yeah, and even the stuff that I said in this stream, a lot of the things I said, I don't even know if YouTube is okay with that. But like I told you, Trace, their rules are so vague that I'm tired of trying to worry about what I can or can't say. If I can't say it on fucking YouTube, then I'll go to Rumble or Patreon or somewhere else where I can say what I need to say to whoever wants to listen. And I'll just use YouTube as a fucking promotion channel, right? And I'll just be like, hey guys, go to this other place because we can't talk about what we want to talk about here, right? It is what it is. I mean, I can only do so much with this platform. Lynette said, do they block things on Patreon? No. Highlander said, Trace, there's always a solution to the problem. Trace said, Patreon sounds great. I'll subscribe. Awesome. Roy said, what's up with Kim G lately? Haven't seen anything from her. I just made a video about her, and I'm about a month and a half behind, but I'm trying to catch up. And like I said, as far as Kim is concerned, because she doesn't want people spreading her information everywhere or her videos, but if we go on Patreon, it'll be behind a paywall. So not everybody's going to see what we see, but it'll be us, and we can just watch Kim and talk about Kim, because I know you guys want to see Kim talk, not just me. So I'll talk, Kim will talk, you guys can talk. We can all talk, and nobody's going to silence us, nobody's going to suppress us. You get what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about, oh, are we stealing someone's content, whatever. None of that matters on Patreon. So we can just freely enjoy ourselves over there. That's why I want to do it. But anyways, Highlander said, Roy, he did a video earlier on. Yep. And Roy said, okay, thanks, Highlander. And I'm still going to do the update videos here on YouTube. But like I said, I want to show you guys Kim as she speaks, so we can talk about the things that she says. Not just me talking about it, because I don't talk about everything that she says. I only talk about some of the things that she says. And there may be some things that you guys want to hear or talk about that I didn't say. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sub to UNN, so I can just show you guys on Patreon, and we can all just have a discussion there, right? And the Patreon is cheaper than the UNN, so the Patreon's $5. The UNN is $8.99. So I'll show you what's on UNN, and we'll talk about that. And then it is what it is. And I'll give you guys what you want, right? So if you guys want to see the whole UNN report, we'll watch the whole UNN report. We'll watch Sunny talk. We'll watch Kim talk. Whatever you guys want to do. Jen said, hi guys, just tuning in. Hey Jen, nice to see you again. Sorry, I'm a little bit irritated. You usually come when I'm at the end, because I think you came last time when I was finishing up. And I'm about to, well, I don't know. Since you guys are talking, I might not end it so early. Highlander said, hi, Jen. Lynette said, just join. I'm your second. Appreciate that, Lynette. Roy said, great idea, RT. Thanks. You're welcome. And Roy said, did anyone see Benjamin Fulford's interview with Kim? Very interesting stuff. Yeah, I made a video talking about it. I'll show you real quick. Let me go to my channel. Videos. I didn't talk about the whole. Actually, I didn't talk about the interview. I just talked about him, like this video right here. He said that she was an AI. So I talked about what he said. And if you haven't watched this, I would recommend you watch this, because yeah, you might like what I have to say there. I don't know. But I gave my opinion on his thoughts and what I think about him. He doesn't seem to be a bad guy, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I say watch that video. Highlander said, I love Sunny's spirit-filled heart. She's a good person. Highlander said, Roy, yes, I did with Ben. Yeah. That video that I just showed, it's in I made it a few months ago. But the actual video with Kim and him doing an interview, I saw it on Odyssey a long time ago. Like, was it a year ago when they did the interview? They did it a long time ago. Yeah, they did the interview, and then a few months later he was asked, and if you watch my video, you'll see he was asked by somebody what he thought about Kim and if he thought she was an AI. And he said that he did think she was an AI and all this other stuff, but you can just see what I thought about it. Jen said, I don't blame you being irritated, sick of YouTube. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, because you guys can even see here, or if you go back and watch the replays of my live streams, you'll see your comments being censored. And then a lot of times it just looks like I'm ignoring you guys or I'm being rude. And that pisses me off because I don't want to look like I'm rude to you guys. When you guys are, especially, you know what's the worst part? They censor the best comments. When you guys put something really good, they censor it. I'm like, why the fuck do they keep censoring the best comments? And that's what really irks me because you guys say a lot of good stuff and I can't see it. So I can't respond to you. Then I have to go back and watch the replay and then say, fuck, I missed this. Fuck, I missed this. Like even the last live stream, I was looking at the live and I was like, damn, they said this. Damn, they said this. And you guys say a lot of good stuff that I don't get to respond to. So it's really annoying. Highlander said, where is that video at, RT? I think I already answered that. It's it was made, I'll tell you the date. November 2nd, 2022 is when I made that video. If you want, I can try to find the interview with, let me see if I can find the interview with her and Ben if you want to see that. Give me a sec. Let me try to look for it. I think I saw it on Odyssey. Was it on Odyssey? Let me see. Let's see. So I can give you guys the link if you're interested in that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, actually, I think it's on UNN, isn't it? Is that where I saw it? No, I saw it definitely on Odyssey, but I'm certain it's on UNN. Let me pull up my UNN. Give me a second. Where's my UNN? UNN. All right. I'm just looking for this just to see if it is on UNN. Just give me a sec. I could have sworn I saw it on UNN. Or am I crazy? Are there two UNNs? Or am I high? Real Talking Interviews. Yeah. It's right here. I'll show you guys. 1 second. It's on, this is where it is on UNN. It's right here. So yeah. I mean, what? I already have, what the? See, that's why I said, is there two UNNs? Because I am subscribed to UNN. But I can only access certain things. It's so weird. Okay. I'll figure this out later. But it's on UNN. And I know I saw it on Odyssey, so. Jen, I was sick of Facebook, deleted my account. About ready to do YouTube too. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt Facebook. I had so many issues with Facebook. I don't even want to think about Facebook. The UNN site was hacked. It was revised. I can't get in either. Yeah, there's like two UNN sites. I don't know what's going on there. But again, like I said, on Patreon, I can really show you guys stuff. And we can go look at that stuff. We can look at the reports. Like we can look at the actual Kim. Like I'll show a little bit here. Give me a second. Hopefully Kim doesn't get mad, but whatever. Like yeah, the next one I'm gonna do is January 23rd, January 25th, and January 27th. Right? And like, oh my God, what's going on? Calm down, calm down. But yeah, see, we can watch this whole thing. Hey, Sonny. Hey, Kim. How are you doing? Oh, you're doing great. Fantastic. All right. So we can watch that on Patreon, but I don't want to do it on YouTube because, you know. Anyways, and like I said, subbing to the Patreon is cheaper. I can show you the same thing on, but the difference, like I said, if we do watch it on Patreon, it's going to be all of us talking about it. It's not just going to be playing the episode and not saying anything, right? We're going to actually have a conversation about it. And all the reports have a lot of information. I mean, how long is this report? It's like an hour and a half, right? It's an hour and 25 minutes. And they have so much stuff that they put in there. Some stuff that I talk about, some stuff that Kim talks about that only Kim talks about, which is the main reason why I watch it. But I don't know, it would be a good thing for us to get into. Kim said Highlander, that depends if you are on her cable channels. Oh, wait. I missed a comment. Highlander said, isn't there a few different pay levels for UNN? I don't know. I just pay the $8.99. I don't know how many levels there are or anything like that. I just paid the $8.99. But like I said, I really want to just talk about what she says, not just the stuff that I put out, but everything in it, and we can really break down the reports. It's hard for me to break down an hour and a half of stuff in 20 minutes, you know? So I give you guys like a rough overall view on the most important things that I took away from the reports. And if you go watch the reports, you'll see that pretty much everything I said in my video is there. So it's not like I'm changing anything. Hey, what's up, Mark? Mark, I think you're the most censored person in my chat. And I think you saw that last time. And I was just talking about that earlier because, like, I remember Mark and Roy, you guys said a lot of good stuff and your comments would be silence. Well, all of you say good stuff, but what I'm saying is when I went back and looked, it was mostly Mark and Roy that were getting censored. But yeah, Mark, I was just talking about doing Patreon stuff for you guys because I can't do stuff here. Like basically, you know, you getting censored, me getting censored. It's like there's so much I can show here and talk about here on this platform. But like I believe Trace gave me the idea. She said just use this platform to promote other stuff. And that's what I think it's going to turn into. I think I'll talk about mainstream stuff here that everybody pretty much watches in the news because that seems to be the only safe thing you can really talk about on YouTube. And then leave all the really good stuff to the other platforms. And I know they don't like Kim Goguen on YouTube, so it's only a matter of time before they start. They're already censoring me, but it's only a matter of time before they try to take me down because I'm talking about Kim, right? So Kim Stanley said $8.99. Then I said, hi, Mark. Mark said, oh my God, yes. Yeah, you remember how many of your comments they were removing. It was bad. And it seems like I'm being rude and ignoring you guys. but I'm not. It's just YouTube being assholes. And from what I heard, Susan Wojcicki or whatever, the CEO, she stepped down, and the person that took over her role is actually worse than she is. That's what I heard. I think Steven Crowder said it, because Steven Crowder moved over to Rumble, and he said, fuck YouTube, which is what I want to do, right? Just say, fuck YouTube. But YouTube has the biggest audience. That's the problem. So if you really want to reach the most people, YouTube is the place. Roy said, AI loves me. Yeah. Lynette said, oh, blocked again. Yeah. And you guys can see the comments there, so if something gets removed, then you can see I'm not doing anything. I'm just reading everything you guys put up there. Trey said, yes, good idea, and just not worth rocking the boat and losing your channel. Yeah. And like I told Trace, I've been doing this effectively for 2 years for free. Because I had an old channel that I had for almost a year, and now I'm doing this channel. And at some point, I put so much time and effort into my videos and research. Especially, I'll be honest, my original channel was better than this one. I put a lot more time and effort into my original channel. And that got deleted. So now I'm doing this, and now I see them censoring me, which they weren't doing. My old channel was growing a lot before it got taken down. This one is not growing as much. Like, they just completely halted my growth. Pretty much since this new guy took over YouTube, my channel's not growing. So I'm like, okay, so they're censoring me. They're censoring the people that watch me. It's kind of irritating. So I think I'm going to have to stick to mainstream stuff. So sorry, guys. Like, if you hear me talking about stuff that's on the news, it is what it is. But that's the only thing I'm going to be able to talk about because YouTube is very strict. Highlander said biggest audience of bots on YouTube. Yep. Mark said hopefully people were able to download Kim's book. I printed copies out and handed it out to friends. Cool. Hey, Jen, I put it in the Telegram. I posted the book in Telegram. I can find it real quick for you. Give me a second. Let me look at the Telegram. I posted it a couple of days ago. Where is it? Let me check. No. I'm just trying to find it real quick. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Alright, I'm gonna link it in the chat. It's right here. I'll link it here. And I'll link it in Telegram too again. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you guys want to join the Telegram, that would be cool. Because you can talk about whatever you want to talk about over there. Your chat will not be censored. So I recommend you go over to the Telegram. Just go over there and say whatever you want. Trace is running it. She's doing an awesome job. And just go over there. You guys are welcome. And see, that's another thing. Like, I want to share all the things I have, all the knowledge, all the information. And I feel like YouTube isn't going to let me share some things with you. So that's another thing I can do on Patreon. There's so much stuff that I can show you guys and tell you guys. Like the history of the earth and all of that. There's a lot of knowledge that I can share. But I can't. YouTube isn't going to let me say certain things. So it's irritating. But yeah, like we can do this kind of stuff, right? We can hang out and talk and chill. Just do whatever. You can also, I believe Trace told me this, that we can have conversations on Telegram too. Like if you guys want to leave messages there, and we can have little talks on Telegram. You can record a message there. I can hear all your beautiful voices since you can hear mine, right? It's only fair. You can go over there and say what you want to say. Everyone is hungry to learn so much more, so Patreon sounds awesome. Yes, Trace, I 100% agree with you. It's, like I said, if I could say all the things I want to say here, I would. I don't know what I can say on Rumble. I know I can say more on Rumble, but I'm sure there are things that I can't show over there either. Mark said, the book you just shared a link to in her video about real world history is amazing. Yep, and that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up, Mark. That's one of the things I want to show is her video with the knowledge that I have. And see, we can talk about the book. There's so many things that I want to do that I want a little place for us to gather and just say and do. And like I said, Telegram is a good place too. So Telegram is a good place for us to gather and say things, and then also Patreon, so I can show you guys videos and we can chit chat about stuff. And I'm not opposed to reading stuff, right? If you guys want to read books, we can do that. Because there are some things I want to read to you guys. I know it's like story time or whatever, but knowledge is knowledge, right? Doesn't matter if we're reading books, if we're learning and getting better. And we can discuss things. Maybe we can form meditation groups. Who knows? Who knows what we could do, right? If we really put our minds to it. But that's the kind of thing I want to do. I want to build a strong, free community that can say and do what they want without being censored. Whether it's here or somewhere else. So yeah, let me close this book out. Let me close you and then out real quick. Roy said, just signed up for your Patreon, RT. Thanks for the work you do. Thank you so much, Roy. I really do appreciate you all. And let's see. The next stream I'm doing is going to be on Rumble. Oh, no. On YouTube on Monday. So this weekend, what I'm going to work on the content I want to put on Patreon. And I'm going to work on more videos. And I'm going to put out a video discussing the stuff I'm going to share on Patreon. And I'm going to put out a video talking about how I'm going to do YouTube going forward. Because again, YouTube is really the only issue. It's like I have to operate completely differently on YouTube. Whereas BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, Patreon, I can do whatever I want on those platforms. But YouTube, I have to be like walking on pins and needles, right? So I have to think of something else with YouTube. One idea that I have is I'll think about it. And when I think about it, I'll let you guys know. Mark said, right on, world history and galactic history. Exactly. Yep, I want to talk about universal history. I want to talk about how we came to be and how we got to where we are and where we're trying to go. Those are the things I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the 5 o'clock news, right? Like, there are people that already do that. Like I said, that's why I watch Tim Pool. Because Tim Pool gives me the shit that I don't want to go look for. He puts it in a nice little bow. I watch him. I don't have to go look for this shit. I don't want to look for it. I don't care about this stuff other than the fact that we have to pay attention so that way we don't get caught off guard, right? So I watch him and I'm like, all right, I need to pay attention just so I know what's going on in the world. But I'm not going to go out of my way to look for this stuff unless it's something serious, right? Like, I don't know, World War III or Civil War, something like that. But anyways, Jen said we have backup places to go. They can't shut us up. Yep, I like that spirit, Jen. Yes, we love your work. Thank you. You're welcome, Jen. And another thing I'm going to say, just so we're all on the same page, there are going to be disagreements, but we all have to just think about what's the rational thing and what's the best way to move forward. So if we have a disagreement, we have a disagreement. I'm trying to, honestly, I've had a lot of negativity the last couple of months with people in my life and people on the channel. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to argue. I want to move toward, even in this stream, I was pretty negative in the beginning because I see the problems in the world and I don't like the way the world is going. I want to stop the evil. And I know that if we don't put our foot down and become more assertive, the evil's going to run us over. That's the truth. We have to stand up and fight, even if it's just resistance, right? But we can't lay down. We can't let it run us over. But I don't want to be that negative. I just want to talk to you guys, hang out, talk about knowledge, spread love and all of that good stuff, right? That's what I want to do. And again, I have big plans for all of you, for this community, for this channel. I want to build something big. I want to change the world. What I want to do is no different than what Kim wants to do. Kim has a lot more resources, a lot more help, if you know what I mean. She has the others and all of that she's working with. But her goals and my goals are not any different. We have the same end goal where we're trying to get to. And that's why I really like her, because even if I don't agree with everything she says, I like where she's trying to go. And I'll go my way, she'll go her way, but we'll get to the same point. You get what I'm trying to say? Roy said, wow, now that's a great subject. How misled we have been in our rewritten history. Goes very deep. Yeah, and that's the point. And when I show you guys the history that I have, you're going to be surprised at how similar it is to what Kim has. And it's a different source, but it may not actually be a different source, and you'll see when I show you guys. But what I will say is that I'm going to put out my history. Well, it's not really my history, but the universal history that I have acquired before she puts out the rest of her stuff. Because the stuff that she already put out is pretty much in alignment with what I already know. But she hasn't put out everything yet. So I'm going to put out what I have. And then when she puts out what she has, we can compare it and see how similar those histories are. But like you said, Roy, we've definitely been lied to. And there are multiple sources that talk about what the truth is. But the two main things I want to do with Patreon are Farsight and Kim Goguen. Those are the two things I'm going to focus on. There's so much stuff with Farsight. It's going to be like, on Patreon, it's going to be like movie night, right? And see, this is the best thing about it. I'm going to sub to all this stuff that costs money, and you guys don't have to sub. You only sub to me, right? But I'll show you all this other stuff, and you're just subbing to me. You get what I'm trying to say? So, because Farsight also costs money to sub. And then I'll show you guys what they have. We can talk about what they have. And I'll sub to all this other stuff. But the main thing I'm trying to get with this Patreon is for us to be able to talk about whatever we want without worrying about somebody censoring us or taking us down or anything like that. And we can share ideas. That's the whole point of it. But yeah, so let me see. It's 8:30. So what else do you guys want to talk about? I could stay for a little bit longer. If you just showed up, can you please hit the like button? Apparently that helps the algorithm. And if you aren't sub, please sub. Because my channel is not being promoted in the algorithm anymore. They completely just stopped it. So what I'm gonna have to do is start making, like I said, and this is something I'm gonna put out in my announcement video, but I'm gonna have to start making mainstream stuff on YouTube. That's the only way that my channel is gonna grow on YouTube. It sucks, but that's what I have to do, is just talk about mainstream news and BS nonsense. But I'll try to make it interesting, and I'll try to make it matter. I mean, everything matters to a degree, and everything I've talked about on my channel has to do with the bigger picture. So like I said, if you go watch the videos that you think don't matter, they matter. Trust me. I make it matter. I make it connect to the bigger picture. There might be some guy you don't know or somebody you don't care about. You're like, why do I have to watch this? Or what does this matter? You'd be surprised what I say in the video. If you watch it, that's why I tell people, just watch all my videos. Even if you think it doesn't matter to you, just watch it. You'll be surprised what I say in it. Roy said, it's going to shock a lot of people to find out we lost the war in heaven and ended up in the lower regions controlled by the Elohim, or the guy that they say he is God. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. Trey said, let's build a better world together. Agreed. Lynette said, we are kids learning that Santa is not real. Yeah. And Jen said, I just hit the like button. I forgot. Sorry. You're good. It's all good. Yeah, like I said, the only reason why I say hit the like button is because people say that it promotes the channel in the stream, so more people get to see it when they search or whatever, when they go to YouTube. That's the only way to grow. It's sad, but the only way to grow as a small creator on YouTube is to have people share your stuff. That's the only way. Like, you guys have to share it and tell other people. And what I think will help probably for me is going on Twitter and I'm gonna have to get into quarrels with people on Twitter and make drama. Not really drama, but like find people that I don't like or agree with and say stuff to them, and then have people like my comments and they say, "Hey, go sub to my YouTube." See, that's what's funny about me is I'm as real as it's gonna get. I'm telling you guys exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not hiding anything or shying away from anything or pretending I'm doing something that I'm not. I'm not better than anybody. I am a real person. So if I have to go on Twitter and start drama so I can get subs, nah, but I won't start any like fake drama. Like I'll just find people I don't agree with and be like, all right, I don't like this thing you said. That's how I used to get, because I used to have a Twitter that had a lot of people following, but I got rid of it. I had it a few years ago. And I just used to find different people I didn't agree with and just comment on their stuff. And then people would like what I had to say and they started to follow me. So I'll have to do that again. But this time it'll be so that the YouTube can grow. Yeah, so another thing I want to do is I want to have debates with people. Because you're all cool people and you all understand what I'm saying. But I want to have people like that don't agree with me. The problem is the only people that don't agree with me are trolls. So the only people that I get that come here and talking trash, they don't know what they're talking about and they're just trolling me. They're not really trying to have a debate with me. So Roy said, I lost my Twitter account and proud of it. Spoke my mind freely in the how I was offended. Oh, yeah. I hate that. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, that's another place where I can start putting out information and sharing when I go live and all this, that, and the other. But I'll probably just build that on my own in terms of, like I said earlier, getting into discussions with people like I did before. So yeah, Mark said the video on Exodus story in the Bible was mind opening. Which video are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm gonna take a quick 1 minute break. Oh yes, Farsight. Yeah, all their videos are mind-opening to me. I've watched everything they put out up until the last year when I stopped researching. But like I said, I'll sub to them and we can watch whatever you guys want from their content. You got to see the one with the death traps. That one really said a lot to me. Jen said, I used to have Twitter until they kicked me off back in the day. Don't have a filter in my mouth. I hear you. We could also watch like Mr. Ballin, and he's on YouTube, so Mr. Ballin is freaking awesome. It would be a cool little hangout spot. On we have a we'll have our little corner in Patreon and just watch whatever we want and do whatever we want like a bunch of wild animals. It's not gonna be like college though, so not that wild. All right, guys, don't get too excited. I'm just kidding. Trace said, Mark, can you share the video over on Telegram, please? And Mark said, Lynette and the Easter Bunny too. And the Easter Bunny. Now. What if I told you guys that me and my friend both saw Santa Claus? What would you guys say to that? Would you think I'm crazy? And it's not when we were kids either. I'll tell you the story. It was around Christmas time. And I don't want to make anything up, but I swear to you, I looked up in the sky. I was outside. I looked up for some reason. And I saw what looked like, to my eyes, a sled in the sky with a bunch of reindeers. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, did I just see that? And I was not a child. I was an adult. So I was like, how am I seeing this? But I don't remember if I heard any noise or what made me look up. I know I couldn't see it clearly because there was no moon out and it was dark. And I just saw like the shadow of it flying over. But it looked like Santa Claus with some reindeers. That's what it looked like. And my friend said he saw Santa Claus too, but I forgot his story. So I'm not going to try to make that one up. Mark said, Trace, I have to sign up. It's on the Farsight YouTube channel. Yeah, Farsight is freaking awesome. Even the stuff they have on YouTube is really good. Like, you'll be occupied just with that stuff for a long time. Like, if you start from the beginning and watch all their content, and the cool thing about the stuff that they do, it's not like, oh, this video's old, so it's not relevant anymore. It's always relevant. Whatever they put out is always relevant. So don't think like, oh, this is old, it doesn't matter anymore. Oh, it matters. Everything they put out matters. Mark said, there's one at Walmart ringing a bell. Yeah. Oh, you mean my uncle? No, I'm just kidding. Uncle, I was going to make up a name, but I didn't know what name to make up. Uncle Satan, Uncle Santa. What's his name? Chris Kringle, right? Uncle Chris. But yeah, like I said, if you go watch like Mr. Ballin and Farsight, if you watch all their videos from beginning to end, from the first video they made forward, you will not be disappointed. But with Farsight, I'll say this. If you don't understand how remote viewing works, it's going to take you a while to understand the lingo and the language that they're using. So you have to really, because I'm going to be honest, when I first started watching them, I was like, what is, I don't understand what they're saying. I don't understand what they're doing. And their language is coded, not coded, but they use special words for, like they say, I gotta remember some of the stuff that they say. I forgot. It's been a while since I watched them, but whenever they say things, they have a special, like when they're talking about what they're doing, it's a different kind of language. So once you understand the lingo that they use, then everything will make sense when you watch them. So it might take you a few videos before you fully understand what's going on. If you're not familiar with remote viewing. But to give you an overview, if you don't know what remote viewing is, it's basically a mental process to project yourself, basically your mind, to a place and time based on coordinates that are given to you. And you don't know where you're going to go. So, for instance, let's say I wanted you guys to go remote view a certain event, right? I would say, I would know in my mind what I want you to go see. So my intention is in my mind, but I wouldn't tell you what it is. I would just give you the coordinates. I would say, here are the numbers, write these numbers down, and then based on the numbers I give you, now it's up to you to go find this event in history or this time or this place, right? And then you go and find it if you know how to do it, right? And that's what they do. And when they go to go find these places, they usually draw down what they see, what they find, and they're very good at what they do. So it's like your subconscious, right? Your subconscious is basically, your subconscious knows what these numbers mean. You may not consciously know, but your subconscious knows, and it takes you to where this place is, where the person wanted you to go. So if I wanted you to go remote view, I don't know, the Statue of Liberty, right? I would say, these are the numbers, 3460, whatever. And then I wouldn't tell you the Statue of Liberty. I would just say 3460. Then you go write down 3460. Then based on that 3460, your mind is going to take you to the Statue of Liberty. Then you're going to start drawing what you see, even though you don't know what it is. You don't know what you're drawing until you're done. And then once you draw it, then you're going to be like, oh, this is the Statue of Liberty. You get what I'm saying? That's how remote viewing works. At least that's the method that Farsight uses. You guys got really quiet. Cherry said, would be great to hear about some of the places you have remote view to. Me? I don't think I've ever consciously done that. I don't know how to do that. If I've done it, I wasn't aware that I did it. Maybe in a dream I may have done it, but then that's just called dreaming, right? But apparently, according to Farsight, anybody can learn how to do this, and they give lessons on their channel. So if you want to learn how to do it, they can teach you how to do it. I haven't signed up for it because I'm not really interested in doing that right now. It takes a lot of time and effort to get good at that. You have to do a lot of practice and training in your mind. And yeah, like I was saying, Trace, I was just describing a hypothetical, right? Like I was like, the way that it works is if I decided, like if I knew, like if you knew how to remote view and I said, hey, like I would give you the coordinates, right? I would give you the numbers, and then you would be able to go and find whatever is at those numbers. That's how it works. Mark said a funny movie about this is George Clooney. Men that stare at goats. Trace said, oh, sorry, misunderstanding you. Ken talks about remote viewing. Yeah. Yeah, it's apparently anybody can do it. And see, this is something that It's an ability that humans have, all humans, just like anything else, but it's been taken away from us, and we have to retrain ourselves in order to learn how to do it. So it's not like we can't do it, it's just that we have to learn it again or retrain ourselves. But yeah, the stuff that Farsight does is very, very interesting, to say the least. There's some of the few, like, you guys already know me by now, and there are not too many people that I take serious, and I take them very serious. So that tells you something. I think you guys know I wouldn't be taking them serious if they weren't legit. But yeah, like I said, I can always, on the Patreon, we can just watch that stuff together and talk about it, because there's so much knowledge and information in the world that we can discuss. There's stuff I can show here on YouTube too, but maybe I'll show you guys like a little preview of something that you guys want to see, like one of their YouTube videos. Let me see. Let me look up Farsight real quick. Man, I can't even. No, Farsight. Alright. Man, all this stuff is so interesting. It's just so interesting. Oh man. It's so crazy. Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy story. Appeal to the domain. This was very interesting. The domain. Do you guys know about the domain? You guys have all heard of Roswell, right? I'm sure you've all heard of Roswell. The domain are basically the aliens that crashed from Roswell. So they went and had a conversation with these aliens. And the stuff that was being said was pretty interesting. See, that's another thing that they can do with remote viewing, is actually go and communicate with other races in the universe. Because remote viewing is not limited to time and space. So you can go anywhere you want in the entire universe. Yes. That's it, Roy. The domain with the ISBs, exactly. And it's funny you say that, because Courtney, they've adopted the term ISBs from the domain, and they call everybody ISBs now. They don't call people souls anymore. And he says everyone is simply to be, something like that. You know exactly what it means. So yeah, there's just there's so much knowledge, I'm telling you, in this universe, and things that people don't know. Everyone is simply to be. Yeah, that's why I always say it is what it is, right? You are what you are. I say that all the time. But I got it from the Pleiadians, because the Pleiadians always say it is what it is. And Subaru, they stole it from the Pleiadians. You know, the Subaru has their little sign that represents the Pleiadians for their cars, and they say it's what makes Subaru a Subaru or whatever. That's like their slogan. I don't know if they still have that slogan, but yeah, it is what it is. Let me see what else. Yeah, like I said, yep. There's so much stuff. True story, there were 3,000 trapped here on Earth on a reconnaissance mission. Not sure if Matilda brought that out, though. Jen said, I have a Subi. A Subi. You make it sound like a cute little car or something, like a cute little toy car. A Subi. Um, yeah. Yeah, Roy. I had the book. You know the book, right? Let me see if I can pull it up. What was the name of the book? Do you remember the name of the book, Roy? Can you tell me what the name of the book was? I have it on my computer, but I have to find it. The book where they interviewed the Greys, or I don't know if they're considered Greys, but I know they're some kind of Grey type aliens. What was the name of the book? By the way, in case you guys haven't realized, according to Kim, she does work with Greys or communicates with Greys, or I believe those are the ones that she considers to be the botanists or whatever. But Kim does work with them, even though Kim hasn't directly said that. But I have understood that because of the things that she has said, based off of what I know. Yeah, I have to find that book again. I have it. It's pretty crazy the stuff that they say in that book. See, that's another thing I want to like show you guys. It's stuff like that. Because they interviewed Matilda. Was she a nurse? I don't remember exactly what she was, but she was working with the government, I think, and she was treating them or something, and she was having some kind of communication with those aliens that crashed in the Roswell crash, and they were telling her all this stuff. I believe that's what happened. I may be wrong, but it was something like that. I know she was working with them and with the government, and she was communicating directly with them. Like they were confiding in her all this knowledge and information about what they were doing here. And they apparently were shot down, right, by our government. So they ain't just crashed. Our government shot them down. Like people think, oh, the Roswell crash, the UFOs just crash landed. No, our government shot them down. Something like that. Mark said, in the realm of history, this period of time is very special. We are all unique and very powerful beings. Yes. And there's a lot of things that have to be understood by the majority of people before things can really change. And I'm not sure who's, like, I've heard many different people say this, and they've said that it's going to take a good majority of people to change their consciousness before any of the supposed good ETs want to come down and help us. Right now, there's not enough people that think the right way, I guess is the way to put it, or see things or understand things that they need to understand. So that's why I tell people we need to spread the word to as many people as possible. Like, and again, like, no offense to Tim Pool or people like him, but these people have millions of followers, and all they're doing is talking about the mainstream news. And I'm like, okay, what about all this other stuff that matters? And they won't touch that stuff. Like the stuff we're talking about here, Tim Pool will never talk about this stuff. It will never be known to his audience. So like when I got into this argument with this person the other day, I was telling them there are a lot of Tim Pool people that don't always agree with the things that he says, and they want to hear more real truth. They want to hear more than what he's saying because he's not saying enough. So that's why I talk about Tim Pool, because my goal is to draw some of his audience to me so they can hear me say what the real truth is, not just what Tim Pool read in the news, right? That's the whole point of that. It is what it is. It's either that or just let Tim Pool keep reading them the news, right? Keep reading CNN, keep reading Fox. I mean, there we go. That's it right there. No, really. Alien interview. There we go. Thank you, Roy. Top secret military transcripts and notes from the late Matilda O'Donnell McElroy, an Army Air Force nurse at the Roswell Army. Yep. Yeah, I remember. She was a nurse. And she was treating them. She was treating the aliens. And that's how. Let me see if I can find her real quick. I'm gonna look for it. And when I find it, I'll show it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's. I think I found it. Is this it? Yeah, I think I found it. Let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah, this right here. This right here. The mystery of UFOs and extraterrestrials. Can I make it bigger? Yeah. If you have studied UFO phenomena at all, you're already familiar with the infamous Orson Welles radio broadcast of War of the Worlds and the invasion of Mars. I want to get to the interview. There's all the stuff here. Well, let me get to the interview. So, you guys can see this, right? She's interviewing the alien right here. Are you injured? No. What medical assistance do you require? None. Do you need food or water or other sustenance? No. Do you have any special environmental needs such as air temperature, atmospheric chemical content, air pressure, or waste elimination? No, I am not a biological being. Question: does your body or spacecraft carry any germs or contamination that may be harmful to humans or other Earth life forms? No germs in space. Does your government know you are here? Not at this time. Are others of your kind going to come looking for you? Yes. What is the weapons capability of your people? Very destructive. I did not understand the exact nature of the kind of arms or weapons that they might have, but I did not feel that there was any malevolent intention in her reply, just a statement of fact. Why did your spacecraft crash? It was struck by an electrical discharge from the atmosphere, which caused us to lose control. Oh, okay. So it wasn't shot down. It was something else. Well, I know they shot down other stuff. Question: why was your spacecraft in this area? Investigation of burning clouds, radiation, explosions. So basically nuclear weapons. Question: how does your spacecraft fly? It is controlled through mind response to thought commands. This book is really something else. But yeah. All right, Jen. We'll see you later. Take care. Have a good night. So yeah, that's the book right there. If you guys want to look at it, I'll link it. But those are the aliens from the Roswell crash, and they are the domain which Farsight and Courtney Brown did this right here, this little communication with them. It's crazy the stuff that's going on in this world. But yeah. Yeah. So there, I gave you a little preview. There's way more crazier stuff that was said, but if you want to look at the whole book, it's right there. I'm almost wanting to go read it more, to be honest. But yeah, let's see. I don't have to go to the gym, but I'm probably gonna end the stream soon because it's past 2 hours already. I was actually planning only to go 1 hour today. Let me see. What am I looking for? So yeah, unless there's anything else you guys want to run by me, remember, sub to the Patreon so we can really get into stuff over there. We can talk about Kim, Farsight, aliens, whatever. Whatever. We can talk about anything over there. And also my Rumble. If you haven't subbed to my Rumble, sub to my Rumble. Because I can do more. Let me show you my channel. Right here. That's where we can do uncensored live streams. Another interesting read is Stan Deo's testimony reverse engineering spacecraft under Edward Teller, Majestic 12. Yeah, there's so much stuff. See, like, there's so much stuff that we can get into. And that's what I want to show you guys on Patreon. Because I know there's some stuff I'm going to say that YouTube is not going to like. So, but anyways, I'm going to shut it down. I really enjoyed this stream. It was a lot better than the last few streams. The next stream is going to be Monday on YouTube. So the stream schedule, I put it out. The new stream schedule is on, actually, where is it? In the community tab. So if you go to the community tab, that's the new stream schedule. It's going to be Mondays on YouTube, 6 p.m. and Thursdays on Rumble, 6 p.m. And every other day will be random, meaning I may go live on those days, I may not. I'm not going to announce those days. I'll just, if I feel like streaming, I'll stream. And if you show up, that's cool. I'm going to try to focus on more videos on YouTube. And like I said, I'm not going to be able to say as much because YouTube is censorious. So I might have to stick to the mainstream news and garbage like that. But on the other platforms, I'll try to put out more hard-hitting content. I really had fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys all for showing up. And thank you for all the Patreons and everything else. And we're going to make this a big thing. And we're going to change the world. That's the way I see it. So take care. And I'll see you guys in the next stream, in the next video.